The latest on President Trump. He moved to raise tariffs on steel and aluminum imports and weighed in on the Middle East, threatening Jordan and urging Israel to call off the Gaza ceasefire unless Hamas releases all the hostages by a Saturday deadline. Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce is tracking it all. Good morning, Mary.
George, good morning. Well, during the campaign, President Trump promised to rebuild the American steel industry. And while they are welcoming these expanded tariffs this morning, businesses across the U.S. and companies abroad are now scrambling to figure out what this all means for their bottom line. This morning, President Trump vowing to enforce a 25% tariff on all steel imports into the U.S. and raising tariffs on aluminum to 25%.
It's 25% without exceptions or exemptions. And that's all countries, no matter where it comes from.
The American Iron and Steel Institute praising what they say is President Trump's continued commitment to a strong American steel industry. But experts are warning that these tariffs could drive up prices for American consumers as much as 15 to 20%, affecting everything from appliances to cars and construction materials. The European Union responding this morning saying unjustified tariffs on the EU will not go unanswered, that they will trigger firm and proportionate countermeasures. The president now promising if other countries respond with their own higher tariffs, he'll just impose even more tariffs on them going forward.
Very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them. That's all.
Some U.S. business owners, like Michael Howard, who makes and sells furniture, says they can't take on the increased prices the tariffs will cause.
And then what do we do? Because I can't swallow a 25% increase in cost of goods. So that then gets passed on to my customers.
And while Trump has promised to be an American-first president, he's increasingly wading into conflict in the Middle East. After Hamas announced it's suspending its upcoming release of Israeli hostages this weekend, accusing Israel of violating their tenuous ceasefire deal, Trump saying if Hamas doesn't release all of the hostages by midday Saturday, the ceasefire deal should be canceled altogether.
That's Israel's decision, but as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
It comes as Trump is doubling down on his plan for the U.S. to take over Gaza, promising to build the, quote, Riviera of the Middle East. But his administration still hasn't explained how they would do this. The White House has said American taxpayers will not foot the bill, and Trump has promised no soldiers by the U.S. would be needed. But he's also making it clear that the Palestinian people would not have the right to return to their homeland.
I would own this. Think of it as a real estate development for the future. It would be a beautiful piece of land.
Would the Palestinians have the right to return?
No, they wouldn't, because they're going to have much better housing, much better. In other words, I'm talking about building a permanent place for them.
Now, the president is calling for Egypt and Jordan to take in Palestinians, a suggestion that they have fiercely rejected. And now President Trump is upping the pressure, suggesting he may cut off aid to them if they don't agree. All of this will likely be discussed here today as President Trump meets with the King of Jordan here at the White House, Michael.
Yeah, I'm sure that will come up, Mary. Thank you so much for that.